Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on our channel Collect 4. So, for those of you that don't know what we are all about here, we are three brothers basically that set up a few businesses that we essentially work for ourselves. We buy and resell items across many different places. I'm actually a FIFA YouTuber. I've been doing that for maybe 18 months, 2 years now, and it's grown lovely. But I didn't want to just box myself into being a FIFA YouTuber, and I wanted to set up some form of future for my brothers. It was vitally important for me that that they have something to fall back on. And if anything went wrong with FIFA, I had something to fall back on. So we've set up multiple businesses. Now we have, as I said before, we have a vintage clothes business. Vintage / second-hand clothes is probably the best way of describing that. We have a collectibles business that sells Funko Pops. We're going to branch out into other things very, very soon. And me and my other brother have a trainer business where we buy and sell second-hand trainers that are in really good condition. And it saves money, saves the environment. And that's been one of the major things for us from day one. It's about getting rid of fast fashion, getting rid of these things. People buy a toy and throw it away. It's always been about reusing and doing whatever it is. And without being blunt, making money as we go. So this video is going to talk about the situation that we have in terms of where we sell our items, where we buy our items from, and the pros and cons of it, okay? So it's going to be based around all of that. I'll probably base it business by business for you guys. And then as time goes on, videos will be things like what you've bought, what we've sold it for, across multiple businesses, and just be a bit more specific. But we'll start by going over each of the businesses, where we buy from, where we sell from, and why we do what we do, and help you guys to do the exact same thing. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so let's talk first about Fuzzy Garms. This is our vintage / second-hand clothes places where we basically sell a lot of our clothes. And this was where we started off because it's a very, very easy way to make up money. Really, really easy way. More and more people are starting to realise that rather than buying something brand new from a shop, they can go and buy something which is pretty much in the same condition or near enough in the same condition from somewhere else for a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper. And so that's where we started off with Depop. So this is our store on Depop. We've got 12,000 followers. Sold quite a lot on here, 260 to 272 items. But there's more to it than that because we sell elsewhere as well. And yeah, this is our store basically. And we sell a mixture of vintage clothes, so really cool vintage items on here. But a lot of what we sell is just second-hand branded clothing. It's really, really easy and it's really cheap to pick up. So where do we pick it up from? Car boot sales is probably the first place to look at in terms of what we pick up. We are blessed that we live in an area in Surrey where there are 2 or 3 very large boot sales around us. And we go there basically and we pick up items. Now, for example, if I give you a good example of this. Let's go to CK jumper here, for example. On sale at the moment, 15 quid. We picked that up from a car boot store for £1. One single pound, okay? And it's relatively easy for us to pick this stuff up. And it doesn't cost a lot of money and it's very, very little risk. Anything branded, so long as you know that it's good and you know that the quality is there, anything branded is fair game to buy. This Kawasaki jacket, we picked up from a boot sale as well. It was £2 we picked it up for. And it's a very, very rare jacket, a very, very hard jacket to find. And so, yeah, we listed that onto Depop. Now, the important thing that we always think about when it comes to buying and selling on Depop or eBay or Vinted, which are the other places we sell our stuff, is there's a mixture of things that we do. The first thing are what we call staples, and they are, you buy basic stuff like Nike t-shirts, Adidas jumpers, Nike jumpers, and you aim to get them for £1, £2 at a car boot sale, and we flip them on quite cheap. Some people list them up for £20 and eventually they'll get a sale. For us, we list them up for £10, £12, £13, £14, depending on the design, and flip them on very quickly. That's basically our instant profit. That's what allows the business to continue cycling. And then something like this Kawasaki jacket, which is much more niche, and you need a specific person to go and buy it. Something like this, we then sell, list it, and leave it there. Because eventually someone will come along that wants the jacket and they will buy that jacket. Really, really simple. And that's how you want to do it if you want to buy and sell second-hand or vintage clothes. Have your staples that you go and buy and flip on very, very quickly. Then have your better pieces that you hold on to for a long time. As an example, we had a Moncler jacket, a very expensive brand. And we went and bought that Moncler jacket and we held that for a long time. And it sat for about 2, 3, 4 months because we had listed at £150. And eventually it sold. And it didn't matter that it was sitting there because eventually we knew it was going to sell to someone who had expensive taste and wanted to buy it. And that's what we did. We waited for it, basically. So pros and cons of selling vintage clothing. The main place you sell them for, Depop. Depop is the main reselling place for people spending money and people knowing what they're looking for. Depop, you can list a little bit higher. People know the quality of an item or know they're willing to pay more. So Depop's probably the best place to sell, but I wouldn't buy from Depop. Really, really good place to buy from, Vinted. I don't know if any of you have known about it, but Vinted is very similar to Depop. But what I find with Vinted is much more a sort of clear out. As people clearing out, I guess, is the best way of putting it. I'm going to talk about these shoes in a second, for example. We bought those from Vinted. Vinted is more of someone having shoes or clothes and being like, I just want to get rid of it. So you can pick up stuff quite cheaply. And you can pick up stuff off Vinted and sell it onto Depop, okay? You can do that. And then the final one is eBay. Now, eBay's really, really good for selling stuff on, but the fees are higher than most other places. The listing takes a lot longer to do, without a doubt. And eBay themselves can be a bit anal in terms of the way they expect things to be done. And it can be a pain in the backside to sell on eBay. But for clothes, the higher end stuff sells very well on eBay. I'd say the mid-tier stuff sells very well on Depop, and the low-tier stuff sells very well on Vinted. For vintage clothing, I buy from places, so from car boot sales, or I buy from Vinted and list on the other two. One other thing to think about though, we have a vintage shop near us, and they do like kilo sales, really good places to pick some decent items up. Those sort of kilo sales is basically £12 a kilo of clothes. You want to pick up the really cool items. You don't want to be picking up just Nike t-shirts because they're more expensive. You want to be doing that. We also dabbled in handpick. Now, handpick is when you go to a vintage wholesaler and you buy from them. You buy loads of items. You spend quite a bit of money and you pick up the stuff you want by hand. I don't like it. I'm not going to lie. We're here to flip on and make decent profit relatively quickly. And you have to sell that stuff for a lot of money. And I don't really want to hold on to stuff for too long. And also the buying prices can be a bit too high for my liking. Part of the fun of this is going out with my brothers and finding gems and finding awesome pieces and spending time with them. So that's the best places to buy and sell vintage clothing and how you go and do that. Let's now talk about our collectibles business, Collect For itself. I'll be right back. Alright guys, this is a Funko Pop. Now some of you might know what this is, some won't. But essentially they're really collectible, people like them. And they're basically little, they're called Funko Pop vinyls. So they're made out of vinyl of like your favourite characters from TV shows, films, games, whatever it is. A lot of people collect them, including myself, my brother. And we bought these a lot, and then we realised that we were spending a bit of money on them, and we realised there was a lot of money involved in it. And we were like, hang on, let's see what we can do in terms of buying them and selling them on. So what we tend to do is buy them in big job lots, and I'll explain how and why in a minute. And then we sell them individually on eBay and Depop. Now, I'll just quickly show you what we type in to usually find the stuff we want to find. But here we go. For example, on eBay, we'll type in Funko Job Lot. And this is how we started off initially. And what you do is you see loads of people that are listing up their job lots. They just want them gone. And we buy them at a much reduced price than they would be normally. Because these people just want them gone. It's as simple as that. That's as simple as it gets. As Monty comes in. And so we go and buy them in bulk. Basically, in bulk. And so we used to utilise eBay a lot because it was very easy to do it as a starting place. But what we actually now do is there's a lot of buying and selling places on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, places like that basically. And we just go in there and we say, listen, we are resellers, we sell on. And if you're looking to get rid of your collection, then we'll give you a fair price. But bear in mind that we've got to make profit as well from it. And you just strike up a conversation with these people. And a lot of people just want them gone. They're like, I just want it gone. So can we come up with a fair price? And it's cool. Other people, I think, expect a bit more money, and you've got to be willing to say to them, sorry, we can't pay that. Explain why to them, and then sometimes you disappoint people. Other times they understand why, and they go, cool, no problem, let's negotiate or whatever, so it's fine. But the best place to sell collectibles, full stop, is eBay. It always will be. We have a store for collectible on both Depop and eBay. Depop we do really well on, but eBay is the place. People know exactly what they're looking for, and it's easy to search. So, for example, this pop there, I can do Funko Pop. And I can go Gremlin. Is that right? Must have done it right. And then go Gizmo 04, right? And I can type in that. And the Gizmo Funko Pop that I've got will come up there, right? And you search it, it's like, boom, perfect. There's my Gizmo, all right? And so I have not got to worry at all about it. And people can search that directly. And they see the pop they want, and they come up and they buy it. We undercut the market. We always take a little bit off what everyone else is selling it for. We like to move stuff on very quickly. We don't like stuff to be held for too long. You'll see in one of the videos coming up just how everything is stocked and stored in the house. We have to make sure we flip it on. So that's why Depop's by eBay's better than something like Depop. Depop's good though. Someone will come onto Depop. They'll click on a pop that we've got and they'll search through and look at them. But it's a lot harder to search Depop for these items than it is on eBay. eBay will always be the elite place to sell collectibles. There's no discussion. And so for our store, it's very easy because someone can click on Real Collect 4, they come to our store and they see them all here. And they can click through and it takes them to the items for sale, see all items, and it will take them through to all the items we've got listed. So at the moment, we've got a massive Magic the Gathering job lot that we picked up. And all of our items are listed here. And they can flick through, and they might find one they like, two they like, three they like. They can message us, they get a discount on their postage, and it's much easier. It's much, much better. So that's how we do things with the collectibles. Things to be careful about with things like collectibles and selling on eBay. Condition is key, especially on something like a Funko Pop. Make sure you mention everything that is wrong or right with the pop. Make sure you do it, or with any item you've got. eBay buyers are very, very, very iffy. A lot of the time they'll message you and be like, there was a mark on the box, and they'll try and get a discount or a partial refund. And when you say it's alright, just return the item, you'll be amazed at how many of them suddenly don't have an issue with it. So just bear that in mind. eBay buyers can be a bit less forgiving, I guess is the best way of putting it. So everything should be really, really stringently checked. So you've got to make sure it's there. There are fees involved. We always account for that when we buy things. There's always fees involved. So you have to make sure you're bearing that in mind. We lose about something like 15 to 20% of buying with that and packaging and stuff like that. So it's something to be mindful of that whenever you do it. It's really, really good though. It's a great place to be, and Collect 4 has done extremely well for us. We've done really, really well with this. We only set this up about a month and a bit ago, and it's flying. It's absolutely flying. But final one to talk about is Tsunami. That's our shoe shop. I'll be right back. Alright, and this is our final business that we've just set up, and it is called Tsunami. We like the name of it, it's really cool. Basically, again, with the buying the vintage clothing, buying the Funko Pops and whatnot, well, it actually makes sense. Let's make money out of it. And then we sort of always neglected the shoes that we buy, because if I'm going to go and buy a pair of trainers, sometimes I'll build one brand new. But other times I'll see the exact same pair of trainers brand new on Depop for a quarter, half the price, whatever. And then we realised there was a massive market for it when we looked on Depop. A lot of shoe resellers on there that have looked after their shoes, bought shoes on, even fixed them up and whatnot, and done really well. So we've just launched this. And the reason we did that was we were on Vinted. Again, Vinted is very much a clear out app. It's not quite like Depop, where it's a bit more niche, a bit more like specific buys and whatnot. It's very much just that I'm selling everything I've got, so why not sell it basically? And I've got this or whatever, these brand new shoes. And slowly but surely, we had a little look and we realised just how cheap some shoes could be bought. So as an example, these Jordan Cadences that we've got here, we paid 15 quid for these on Vinted. And we're selling them very cheap at $39.99. They're a pair of shoes that are 60, 70 quid normally, but we're selling them extremely cheaply. And they've not been worn much. They're in pretty damn good nick. And it's just another place that we sort of say about passive income, putting our money. Rather than leaving our money in a savings account that doesn't get much, or in a bank account you don't really get any interest, we put it into another business. And shoes are hot right now. A lot of people buy them to hold on for investments. A lot of people, again, are thinking about fast fashion and I don't really want to go and pay £140 for a pair of shoes. And so we've put them on to Depop. We do list them back onto Vinted again. We do that. And we're always quite honest to say we're really selling them on, so we need to know the condition to people. But the best place, and I never thought I'd say this, to sell second-hand shoes is eBay. eBay is full of mums and dads that maybe haven't got quite the money they want to go and buy their kids Nike, but the kids are demanding it, whatever. And so we've had a few people buy from us on eBay, and they message us and say, it's for my kid, what condition it is like. And we say, listen, they're near enough new, or they're not in that great condition, or they're whatever it is. And you strike up conversations with these people, and a lot of them are like, oh, it's because my kid goes to school, and I want to make sure they've got Nike and whatever, or I want to make sure they last. And so rather than buying a brand new pair of Nike Air Maxes from JD for 120 quid or whatever they cost, they come to us and get for 40 quid, 45 quid, because we paid 20 quid for them. And we're not here to make thousands of pounds from each pair of shoes. We're here to make a basic amount of profit. That means we can afford to live, but other people get good deals. Because these are very good trainers that a lot of people like. There's not that many of them on Depop, and we've got the cheapest. we've got the cheapest because we waited to buy them at the right price. Like, we always did that at the right price. So that's what's really good. The pros and cons of shoes. The pros, they're very easy to pick up. They're all over Vinted. They're all over car boot sales, shops. You can pick them up relatively easily. But they're slow to sell. 100% slow to sell. Again, condition is key. Like, you want ideally stuff that's near enough brand new. And if there's any flaws in a shoe, you have to say them because people don't like it when they get a shoe. We hate it when we buy shoes. They turn up and they're in terrible condition. So condition is key. You have to do it. And you have to multi-list. And that's with any of these business. Listing them across multiple platforms. Utilising Vinted, Depop, eBay, even something like Spock, Facebook Marketplace. List them everywhere. The more you list, the more you make. It's as simple as that because you're putting on multiple platforms. Because one person might have eBay, but not have Depop and Vinted. One person might have Depop, but not Vinted and eBay. And so you're getting as big a market, a bigger customer base as you possibly can across multiple different platforms. And that is what is going to get you sales. And that is what is crucial. Other things to think about, make sure you always package up items as best you can. Spend that little bit extra on packaging because it makes a difference. If the item gets damaged or broken, then you end up losing money. And the extra pound you would spend on packaging was always going to be worth it. That's vitally important. Talk to people, engage with people. We're really honest about what we do. We say to people, we are resellers. A lot of times they don't care. 1 out of every 100 might be like, well, I'm not selling to you then. 99 out of 100, like, yeah, no problem. Like, completely fine. Like, I just want rid of these items, so what do you want to give me for them, basically? And it's a lot easier. Be honest with people and always understand that people are human. Sometimes people send us an offer that's ridiculously low. And we're like, no, sorry, it's way too low. And then they might explain the situation to us. We can negotiate a little bit. It doesn't mean we're going to sell them really, really cheap. But just try not to be disrespectful to people. And that's the way to do it. Breaking down each one of them. Vinted, very good place to buy, not so good to sell on. Depop, very good place to sell, not very good to buy on. eBay, very good to buy on, very good to sell on. But more fees and more sort of arbitrary rules that come with eBay can be a pain in the arse. And buyers can be a little bit iffy. But that's what we do, how we buy, how we sell. If you guys want to get involved in it, just dive in. Do a bit of research, have a little look, see what sells, what doesn't sell, and start to buy those items. Start at a basic level, and then work your way up. If you've got anything you know about, if you're a Magic the Gathering player, if you play computer games, if you buy trainers, check it out, utilise your knowledge, and make money from it. But that will be the end of the video. Make sure you subscribe down below if you're brand new around here. Loads and loads of videos so you guys can watch us on our journey, especially Tsunami, completely brand new. You'll see it grow bit by bit by bit. So like I say, make sure you subscribe, make sure you turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. But for now, we're out. Peace out. We'll speak to you soon.